A woman accidentally discovered that a masked intruder had somehow made it to her doorstep. She was instantly terrified, her face draining of color, and because the door wasn't locked, the intruder slipped inside effortlessly. But by then, the woman had already vanished without a trace. However, the intruder noticed something strange, a ball of yarn rolling across the floor. Following the trail of the yarn, he crept toward the staircase, realizing that the woman must have run upstairs. At that moment, a second intruder barged in. The first man pointed to the yarn, signaling to his accomplice that their target had gone upstairs. Quietly, the two men advanced. They traced the yarn all the way into a bedroom, suspecting the woman was hiding under the bed. But when they flipped up the bed covers, they found nothing. They searched the room frantically, but came up empty-handed, until the shower curtain in the bathroom caught one intruder's attention. Slowly, he raised his hammer and crept closer, but he didn't realize the woman had been waiting there all along. Suddenly, she blasted him with a homemade flamethrower, catching him completely off guard. The second intruder rushed toward her, but the woman remained perfectly calm. Using the flamethrower's flames as a threat, she successfully kept him at bay, backing out of the room as she fought. Yet, as she turned to flee, the second intruder was hot on her heels. In the chaos, the woman accidentally tripped and fell, tumbling violently down the staircase. The tremendous impact left her sprawled and seemingly unconscious, but in truth, she was fully awake, because she knew all too well that hunters often appear in the guise of prey. The intruder approached, nudging her with his foot. Seeing no reaction, he completely let his guard down. Seizing the chance, the woman launched a sneak attack and immediately bolted for the door, but she was still a step too slow and found herself cornered, trapped with nowhere to run. 3 minutes later, the woman was tied up and hauled into a vehicle. As the intruders prepared to drive off and report back to whoever had sent them, a police cruiser suddenly pulled in behind them. It turned out the intruder's car was stolen, which had caught the police's attention. Forced to pull over, the criminals had no choice. But these desperados weren't about to surrender like lambs to the slaughter. Before the intruders could even finish speaking, the woman had already made a break for it. Not wanting to get riddled with bullets, she completely ignored the police's shouts and sprinted desperately into the distance.